If we're new to another, my name is Jamie. The Mac has always been my favorite part of any Apple event. So it's so exciting to see all of the updates that came to the Mac Studio, the Mac Pro, and of course the MacBook Air. I'll never forget when the 12-inch MacBook was introduced and it was just the MacBook, so no Air at the end. It was so light, thin, and portable, I just had to have it. Unfortunately, it was pre-Apple Silicon, so you couldn't really do too much with it aside from web browsing, and even then, that would even really heat things up. Long story short, it just didn't cut it and I had to sell it. Well, I didn't sell it because I ended up getting a scam on eBay. So you guys be careful out there. But today is a new day. We no longer have to sacrifice battery life or performance. And this also delivers a fanless system, which is just simply wild. Now, 15 inches sounds so good in more ways than one, but I'm just really curious if this is gonna be just as solid and durable as the 13-inch. This, of course, rocks all the same internals of what Apple claims to be the world's best-selling laptop. And of course, that's gonna be the 13-inch M2 MacBook Air, with just a few subtle differences, such as this is a slightly larger battery, as well as having 6 internal speakers. But let's just go ahead and get started with the unboxing. I'm also really excited to check out this midnight color. We already have the Starlight, and it's simply amazing. I have videos on that already, but today Midnight is the new Starlight. And on the back we have our usual pull tabs, no plastic found here. We're gonna reverse it. Let's see how good this shimmy is. Ooh, actually it was pretty loose. So we'll set that off to the side. Ooh, it feels really nice in the hands. Usual wax. Let's go ahead and wax that off. Oh, wow. Now that looks so good. Let's set this off to the side as well. We have a color matching braided MagSafe cable. That's cute. Probably won't use you, or maybe I will, not sure. We do have less ports, but we'll talk about that later. Designed in California by Apple. And we have these beautiful midnight stickers. And this paper, wow, they've really upped the quality of this sticker paper here. It's more cardboardy than I recall. And I've held a few stickers in my day. You are going to have your option of a power charger. This one here, we opted for the dual power charger. It's going to deliver 35 watts of power, so you could charge 2 things at once. They do have, with no extra charge, so that's actually sort of nice, 70-watt fast charging adapter. So that's another nice option, but I do opt for these, especially when you're traveling, since this is the Air. Great for travel, and you could also charge multiple things. Wow, it feels like a brick. It's so crazy how premium this feels with a starting price point of $12.99, $11.99 if you do have an education discount. And this is really great for students. You have so much more screen real estate, especially if you don't have the means or the access to plug into an external display. And if we set this down, yeah, super durable. There's no flex on the lid. That's really nice. The larger things get, the more a little wobble you might find. Let's check out the keyboard as we power this guy up for the first time. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's always music to my ears. Wow, this 15 inch is really, really nice. Watch out, 14 inch, there is a new Mac in town. But be sure to let me know if you have any specific questions down below that like button so I can make content that's relevant to you and not necessarily important or relevant to me. But as this continues to boot up, it's a good time to let you know about Clean My Mac, as this is the very first thing you should install to always keep your Mac running like new. This base model comes with 256 gigabytes of storage, and it's configurable up to 2 terabytes. Although I opted for the 1 terabyte, that storage can fill super quick, and Clean My Mac can easily scan your Mac and remove any additional clutter. Additionally, what I love about Clean My Mac is that it is both key and license based, so you can only pay once or subscription-based model and pay month to month. You can receive additional cost savings if you're a student or own additional Macs. Of course, you don't need a new Mac. Your existing Mac can certainly benefit. So if you're not sure, you could even take advantage of a 7-day free trial, clean up that old Mac, and cancel at any time, hassle-free, by using the link down below. Now, although 1 terabyte is my particular sweet spot, again, the base is 256, but if you can, move up to that 512 because you'd always rely on cloud storage or external SSD storage. My personal favorite are the Samsung T7 series here. This is the Tough series, or I believe the actual word is Shield. It's the Shield series, and you can find these on sale on Amazon all the time. I don't do anything rugged at all, but it's cheaper and you'll still get those same fast reading and writing speeds. And since this is powered the M2 chip, memory configurations will be the same at 8, 16 as well as 24. I do think 24 is a little bit overkill for the MacBook Air, so the sweet spot, at least for me, is 16 gigabytes of unified memory, and that should also future-proof you as apps and programs get a little more demanding down the line. And as I mentioned at the start, the 13-inch claims to be the world's best-selling laptop, and with pretty good reason. I do see this form factor, this boxy design, lasting for another 8 to 10 years, so there's been no better time to pick up a MacBook Air. Very similar to the iPhone 14 Plus, this is great for people who need larger displays, whether it's just to be more productive or, like my mom, just to be able to visually see their content without actually needing those pro features. Is it terrible that I still want to talk about this color? Last year when this color was introduced, it was quite popular, but it doesn't look like it's any less smudge resistant. I've taken a variety of product shots and B-roll shots of the Starlight colorway, and I really have to dust that guy off. But this is definitely going to be something you're going to have to live with, unless of course you do put a skin or a case on it, but don't do that because this thing looks so good. But it's possible you don't glue yourself to the screen of every Apple event like I do, and you might not even be sure what the M2 MacBook Airs are even capable of, so I got you covered. We've already covered the size, storage, price, and memory options, and kind of touched upon the colors. This is also available in the Starlight that I mentioned, silver as well as space gray. It is a liquid retina display with super thin bezels. It has a refresh rate of 60 Hertz, and it comes equipped with a 1080p webcam. I say this for every Apple display, but the colors are vivid, accurate, as well as being bright. The display itself gets up to 500 nits of peak brightness, and as for ports, you have the MagSafe charging port, headphone jack, and 2 Thunderbolt ports on the left side. Again, I never use MagSafe, but it is kind of handy that it's there, considering it does have fewer ports than the Pro models. But you might not find yourself charging too often because it does deliver all-day battery life with up to 18 hours. Also mentioned that it is a slightly larger battery than the 13-inch model, but they both deliver that same 18 hours of battery. I'm so happy that the trackpad is actually such a great size. Apple trackpads are industry leading, and that's actually one way where companies like to cut costs by just reusing the same trackpad so they don't have to develop new technologies and new hardware, and they just use it across the board, whether it's 13, 15, or 16 inches. So it's nice to see that here. Of course, we have the Magic Keyboard that we've all grown to love. They are backlit keys with a full function row and Touch ID. This is the Air, so even though the battery size has gotten slightly bigger and they snuck in 2 extra speakers underneath the keys, it is amazingly light at 3.3 pounds and only 115 centimeters thick. So for comparison, the 14-inch size is 3.5 pounds, and it still has these 4 flat feet here at the bottom that help not only protect the underside of your chassis, but also supports heat dissipation because, again, this design is fanless. So again, who is this for? It is for absolutely everyone. The M2 MacBook Air is the perfect personal computer, and even if you're someone who demands more power and uses a PC Tower or even a Mac Studio, this will give you on-the-go performance. And if you're a student, you're going to plan on keeping this guy for many, many years, even beyond your graduation. And again, Clean My Mac will help you with that. And it'll all just come down to your preference in size. Fortunately, bigger doesn't always mean better. And just like the iPhones, we don't have to sacrifice features or performance based on the size of the device that we prefer. And oh my God, I could see the fingerprints on the screen there. Oh boy. Well, be sure to let me know which Mac you're using. Please, at this point, just don't tell me it's Intel based, or if there are any follow-up videos you'd like me to create. Be sure to like the video on your way out, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, see ya.